Daniel Jones expected to join playoff contender after waivers. Former New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones is expected to quickly find a new team after clearing waivers on Monday. Sources told ESPN. Jones, who was waived by the Giants on Saturday, is set to become a free agent and will be available to sign a one-year deal with a new team after 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday. Given the size of his current contract, $11.8 million for the remainder of the season and $23 million in injury guarantees for next year, it's unlikely any team will claim him off waivers. As a result, Jones will be free to sign with another franchise immediately, with playoff contending teams expected to show interest in bringing him aboard. Why Daniel Jones wants to join a playoff contender? While multiple teams may inquire about Jones, sources suggest he is most likely to prefer joining a team with playoff aspirations. Jones, who has already had his struggles with the Giants, will likely want to finish the season with a franchise in the postseason hunt, where he can play meaningful games. The quarterback is looking for a fresh start, and the prospect of playing for a team still in the race for a championship will likely be more appealing than signing with a rebuilding team with little hope of making the playoffs. The end of Daniel Jones' tenure with the Giants. This move officially marks the end of Jones' tenure with the Giants. After more than 5 seasons with the team, New York announced on Friday that they were parting ways with the former first-round pick, with owner John Mara stating that it was a mutual decision aimed at benefiting both the player and the organization. Jones' decline started earlier this season when the Giants decided to bench him, with Tommy DeVito taking over as the starter and Drew Lock and Tim Boyle stepping into backup roles. Jones effectively became a non-factor on the depth chart. The Giants, not wanting to risk an injury to Jones, kept him away from game action, and the quarterback even took part in practice in an unusual role, working as a scout team safety before requesting and receiving his release. A familiar story in the NFL. Jones' situation mirrors similar moves that have occurred in the NFL in recent seasons. Last year, for instance, the Denver Broncos made the decision to bench Russell Wilson to prevent a potential injury from triggering a $37 million guarantee for the 2024 season. Similarly, the Las Vegas Raiders benched Jimmy Garoppolo to avoid the risk of a significant injury that would have activated a $11.25 million guarantee. The Indianapolis Colts also benched Matt Ryan in 2022 to reduce the risk of triggering a $7.5 million roster bonus. This pattern of teams choosing to bench high-priced quarterbacks to protect against injury guarantees has become a recent trend. And now the Giants have expedited the decision with Jones, freeing him up to seek a new team. The future for Daniel Jones. Jones is expected to find a new home soon, with playoff-bound teams likely to pursue him for depth or potential starting duties. One team unlikely to pursue Jones, however, is the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles recently signed former Giants running back Saquon Barkley, Jones' former teammate in New York, which further reduces the likelihood of a reunion in the NFC East. Barkley, who was selected by the Giants in 2018, 1 year before New York drafted Jones, spoke highly of his former teammate following the news of his release. "Our friendship has stayed close throughout the whole process of me being here," Barkley said. "It sucks to see how everything went down for him over there. I've got nothing but great things to say about him. You're not going to really find anybody that can say negative things about him." The 2-time Pro Bowler expressed hope that Jones would find success in his next destination. "It's the NFL. Hopefully, wherever he ends up next, they're going to get a guy who will come in and work." Barkley added, "It didn't work for me over there, and I'm doing well over here. Hopefully, he can find the same fresh start and success." Jones now enters a new chapter in his career, with a fresh opportunity ahead of him. Whether he takes on a backup role or has a chance to start again remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, he's poised to make a comeback with a team hoping to make a postseason push. What's next for Daniel Jones after his classy split with the Giants? NFL executives weigh in. When Daniel Jones stepped up to the podium on that fateful Thursday, he had a multitude of choices. After being benched and demoted from the starting quarterback role to the 4th string in just 1 week, Jones could have let loose a barrage of frustration, or aired his grievances in a way that would have made headlines for all the wrong reasons. But he didn't. In fact, he did something surprising. He stayed classy. Let's break it down. Here's a quarterback who, at the age of 26, has already endured a roller coaster ride with the New York Giants. He was their 2019 first-round pick, and yet, here he was in 2024, struggling to hold on to his spot as a starting quarterback. But rather than let bitterness take the wheel, Jones took a deep breath and handled the situation like a true professional. And if you ask any NFL executive, They all agree, Daniel Jones just raised the bar for handling a quarterback benching with grace. A few ways Jones could have handled it differently. First of all, let's be real, Jones had every right to throw some shade at the Giants. After all, they did him dirty. Especially with their public airing of doubts on HBO's Hard Knocks earlier this year. Could he have called them out for questioning his abilities in front of millions of viewers? Absolutely. Did he blame the franchise for throwing him into a situation where management clearly didn't have his back? Nope. Could he have pointed out that the Giants' struggles to build a solid offensive line were a major factor in his injuries? Or maybe grumbled about being shuffled around between 3 different head coaches in his first 4 seasons? Well, yeah. But guess what? Jones kept it classy. He publicly thanked the Giants, expressed his gratitude to the Mara and Tisch families for the chance to play in New York, and continued with a humble acknowledgement of his own performance. I did not play well enough, consistently enough to help the team get the results, he said, taking 100% responsibility. If that's not a classy exit, I don't know what is. The icing on the cake? The Giants, acknowledging his dignity, released him with a statement that praised his professionalism. NFL executives react. Is there hope for Jones in 2025? Now, let's talk about the future. While no one expects Jones to be anointed a guaranteed starting quarterback anywhere in 2025, the general consensus is that his journey is far from over. In fact, many believe his next chapter could be a great opportunity for both him and whichever team takes a chance on him. Here's the thing, there are plenty of teams in the NFL that will need a bridge quarterback, and Jones could fit that bill perfectly. His ability to mentor a young quarterback and provide stability in the short term could be just what some franchises need while they develop their future star. NFL execs across the league have suggested teams like the New York Jets, Cleveland Browns, and Minnesota Vikings could be in the market for a quarterback like Jones, especially if they plan to draft and develop a young QB in 2025. But don't expect him to be the unquestioned QB1 for any team next season. As one NFC executive pointed out, no team is going to hand Jones the starting job right away. Instead, he's likely to be a backup or a bridge quarterback for a team with a promising rookie QB who needs some mentorship. But let's not sell Jones short just yet. This is the type of role that could give him a chance to prove he's got more left in the tank. Where could Jones end up? When it comes to where Jones could land, multiple teams have been mentioned. Some executives think the Minnesota Vikings would be a solid fit, particularly if Sam Darnold signs elsewhere. The Vikings have already shown they know how to revitalize quarterbacks, as seen with Darnold's improved play in Minnesota. If the Vikings want to sign Jones, they'd get a solid backup option for the rest of the 2024 season, and they could potentially evaluate him for 2025. Another possibility? Teams like the Indianapolis Colts or the Carolina Panthers could be looking for a bridge quarterback to give their young quarterbacks time to grow. If Bryce Young or Anthony Richardson struggles down the stretch of the season, Jones could provide a steady hand to keep things afloat while they get up to speed. The case for optimism: can Jones bounce back? Here's the good news for Daniel Jones, he's not out of options. While his time with the Giants didn't end with a Super Bowl ring, he still showed flashes of brilliance, especially in 2022 under head coach Brian Daboll, where he posted a career-high passer rating and rushed for over 700 yards. In fact, Jones was one of the league's most efficient quarterbacks that year, posting a ridiculous 1.1% interception rate. So, can he bounce back? Absolutely. Some NFL experts also point out that it takes time for a player's mobility to fully return after an ACL injury. So Jones' second year after surgery might be a big step forward. And if he lands on a team with a solid offensive line and better weapons than the Giants ever gave him, there's a chance he could recapture some of that 2022 magic. Jones' demeanor and willingness to help the team even after being benched also speaks volumes about his character. As recently as Thursday, he was assisting Tommy DeVito with preparation for his start and even joined the scout team. His positive attitude, despite being in such a tough spot, speaks to his resilience and leadership. If he can take that mentality to a new team, there's a strong case to be made for his ability to thrive in the right situation. The verdict: what's next for Daniel Jones? In short, Daniel Jones' future in the NFL may not be as clear-cut as it once seemed. But that's far from the end of his story. After all, the NFL is a business where second chances are a given, especially for quarterbacks with talent, maturity, and a winning attitude. He may not be the Giants' QB1 anymore, but with his leadership qualities, accountability, and on-field potential, Jones could still be the right fit for a team looking for a short-term solution while grooming their next franchise quarterback. So, While Daniel Jones' time in New York may have come to an end, don't be surprised if we see him thriving elsewhere in 2025. His exit was a class act, and his future could be even brighter. Here's hoping the best is yet to come for him. Closing thoughts. And there you have it, folks. Thanks for tuning in to today's breakdown of Daniel Jones' classy exit from the Giants and what lies ahead for the talented quarterback. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. We'll be back soon with more NFL news and analysis. Stay tuned. Giants release QB Daniel Jones one day after emotional goodbye. In a surprising turn of events, the New York Giants have released quarterback Daniel Jones one day after he shared an emotional farewell message to the organization and its fans. The decision came shortly after Jones was benched in favor of rookie quarterback Tommy DeVito, effectively ending his 2023 season with the team. Jones, who was drafted by the Giants as the 6th overall pick in 2019, had been struggling with performance issues this season, leading to the team's decision to make a change at quarterback. After being benched, Jones addressed the media in a heartfelt statement, expressing his gratitude to the organization and acknowledging the challenges he faced during his tenure with the Giants. The next day, Giants owner John Mara released a statement confirming the decision to part ways with Jones, explaining that the quarterback personally approached him with a request to be released. Mara said, "Daniel came to see me this morning and asked if we would release him. We mutually agreed that would be best for him and for the team." Mara also praised Jones for his professionalism, noting, "Daniel has been a great representative of our organization. First class in every way. His handling of this situation yesterday exemplifies just that. We are all disappointed in how things have worked out. We hold Daniel in high regard and have a great appreciation for him. We wish him nothing but the best in the future." The release marks a bittersweet end to Jones' tenure with the Giants, who had hoped he would be their long-term solution at quarterback when they selected him 4 years ago. However, despite some flashes of potential, Jones struggled to live up to expectations, and his performance this season ultimately led to the team's decision to move on. As for Jones' future, it remains unclear what his next steps will be, but given his experience and potential, he will likely have opportunities to continue his NFL career with another team. The Giants, meanwhile, are now tasked with finding a new direction at quarterback, with DeVito stepping into the starting role for the remainder of the season. This is a developing story, and further updates are expected as Jones' release shakes up the Giants' plans for the future.